Welcome to Wealth Matters Podcast. I have with me Mr. K. Singh, who is also the Indian name is Krishan Singh, and I like to call him Krishan Singh, of course. So he is an entrepreneur, a multi-business owner, owning multiple gas stations, convenience stores, a laundromat, 40 single-family residences in Northeast Indiana, and an investor in around 2,700 plus units as limited partner and general partner. So welcome, KK, sir.
Thank you very much. Thank you for having me on your show, Aplesh.
Absolutely. How are you today?
I'm doing great. Just got off another podcast.
Okay.
And actually, I think I sent you my previous bio. We are at 2,900 units.
That's great. Nice to know that. So tell us something interesting about yourself, something funny, something which we cannot guess.
Oh, wow. That's a difficult question. So, something that a lot of people don't know. When I lost my job, I worked as a cashier on a gas station in the third shift at $5.15 an hour.
Wow.
That was 20 years ago.
Yeah.
That's where I started my entrepreneurial journey. And in 20 years, that's where I am now.
That's amazing. And how come this happens to all the entrepreneurs that when they lose job, that's when they have that light bulb moment. I lost my job in 2009 and I'm like, what the hell? Why am I working for someone else?
Because when you jump in the swimming pool, then you figure out how to save my life.
Exactly. Right. And then you feel that you are so good at it. Why am I trying to, help someone else build wealth? Right.
And especially, I think this is something Indian thing that we always have a security system. We install a
Right.
security system when the theft has occurred already.
Yes, that is correct. No, that's good to know. So, why did you choose to be in real estate?
Well, I didn't choose it to be. I was forced into real estate. So basically, I had a lot of real estate in India,
Uh-huh.
but this type of, it's, as you know, probably it's not this type of real estate. It's either agriculture or commercial lots or
Right.
residential lots. That's what I was buying in 2006 and 2007 when the real estate was very hot in India.
Yes.
But I had some gas station real estate here as well, but I never thought I am a real estate investor until somebody at our church offered me a portfolio of 40 single family houses.
Wow. Wow. And that's how you got those 40 single
And
family residences.
he insisted that he wants to sell them to me.
Wow.
So,
Was that your very first real estate deal?
correct.
Oh, okay. Can you talk about it? Sorry.
Yeah. This guy, he's from our community. He had owned these houses for over 35 years.
Oh, wow.
And he offered those houses to his sons, and his sons didn't want those because they were doctors, engineers.
Yeah.
He said, I have to sell them, and I sold them twice, and the buyers could not get financing, and I know you could get financing. I'll give you a really good deal. So why don't you buy my houses?
That's
I said, I've never done this. And he said, I'll teach you. I know you can learn. I can teach you for 1 year.
Wow, that's a very generous offer.
And plus, he said, don't pay me anything for a year.
Nice.
And you don't have to pay me anything, and you can take the profit.
That's unheard of.
What else could have he offered us? And I had signed the contract in 24 hours with him.
That's awesome.
To give me 24 hours, and the next evening before 6 o'clock, I signed a contract with him to buy all his properties. And at that time, we didn't know anything how to buy these properties, and we didn't even hire an attorney. I just went online, download a PSA, and wrote it down and attached a list of all the houses. And he
That's the
trusted
old
me.
school way, right? That's the handshake.
Yep. And he trusted me. I trusted him.
Right. Yeah. That's the key.
His sons advised him to hire an attorney. He said, I trust him. He trusts me. That's fine. We don't have to have an attorney.
So tell my listeners, how did that deal work out for you?
Well, the things changed a little bit after signing a PSA. Then he decided, because his sons were engineers and doctors, and they said, you're still not out. You didn't get any money. You're still working with him. So you are not still out. So he asked me if I could get my own financing. And I said, yes, we can get our own financing, but you'll have to give me one house for free. And he agreed to that. And he gave me a house for free. I went to the bank and got a financing.
Awesome.
And the interesting thing is, bank gave us 3 offers, one for 10 years, another for 15 years, the third for 20 years. And we picked, guess what we picked?
20 years?
10 years.
Really? Oh, wow.
10 years. We picked 10 years just for a quarter of interest less.
Right.
And but those properties were cash flowed pretty good.
Yeah.
And after 10 days, he was supposed to teach me how to do the management on these properties. But after 10 days, I had to let him go because he was old school. He started teaching me everything with pen and pencil. I said, no, I can't do that.
Yeah, we come from IT world.
IT world, I can't do that. And I just let him go after 10 days. I just started learning myself and started managing myself. I brought my business to a point where I was paperless.
That's awesome.
So I managed my properties without any paper, just with my computer. And even I didn't have internet on my computer. I just, every time I needed internet, I hooked up to my hotspot.
Oh, wow.
So I could have somebody sign a lease anywhere. I didn't have to have any paperwork or anything.
Right. So let's talk about gas stations, because you mentioned gas stations, and of course, I have seen, some people or a lot of people from the community investing in gas station or owning gas station or working at gas station. Why did you put gas station to invest?
Well, when I lost my job, I had friends they had 2 gas stations in Indianapolis. They offered me a job, because it was only 6 months when I had come, and I didn't want to go back to India. So because I brought some money with me, whatever I had at that time in India. So I spent all that buying a car, buying sofa,
right? Yes,
everything else, and I didn't want to go back bankrupt. So
exactly.
I thought, okay, I'll start a job and learn the gas station business. And after a few months, he gave me a partnership. In one of the gas stations, he gave me a 30% partnership. And in 6 months, we made $70,000.
That's a great way to reward your employees, right? Offer them partnership. They will start working harder. They'll start treating it as their own business, right?
Correct. And I did the same thing. I gave partnership to some of my employees, some of my family, and I brought in partners, and they have been with me for the last 19 years.
That's interesting.
And they're the ones who manage my gas stations now.
Perfect. So how many gas stations do you own right now?
I have 8.
8 gas stations. Wow. So, and I know that you are a serial entrepreneur and you own all kind of real estate, as we have just discussed about single family residencies, and will discuss about multifamily, your journey to multifamily as well. So how is gas station different from real estate or similar investments? Right.
Well, there are 2 major differences, because gas station is a business.
Right, like convenience store and all.
Yeah, real estate is an investment.
Okay.
You can buy a property, rent it out. You may not go there for a month.
Right.
And honestly, out of those my 40 family single family, some of them houses I had visited only once or twice.
Yeah, yeah. I agree. I haven't even seen couple of my properties yet for
Yeah.
since I bought them 3, 4
Yep.
years
And
ago.
if you do this in the gas station business, you won't find a gas station there.
Yeah, I'll be bankrupt.
So gas station is something that wants your presence and time.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it requires you to be there. You got to focus on that business, build it up, and then only you can buy next one or next one,
Correct. Correct.
right?
Once you have systems in place, you have people in our community that they want to be partners because they can't buy a gas station by themselves. They don't have the capital or they don't have the knowledge to buy the gas station. So they would come to experienced people, work for us, then earn. I'm not saying I didn't give them a donation. They earned this partnership.
I got it.
So
Got it.
they earned this partnership, and they have been, and we all grew together.
Right, and that's the key, right? In
Yeah.
this kind of business. So, help me understand how the gas station business works, because I've heard that sometimes it's a lease based, and
Mm.
sometimes you own the real estate as well. So,
Mhm.
how do you own gas stations?
Well, I do both ways, and some of them I started with the lease because sometimes real estate you cannot get loan
Right.
on those properties. Sometimes those properties are contaminated. A lot of banks don't like to give loan on the gas station properties because there's a
Ah,
lot of risk of this contamination.
right.
So we started the first gas station we bought as just a lease. We didn't buy the real estate.
Ah, I see.
We bought most of our gas stations. I did this. We bought the business, and after a few years, we bought the real estate.
Ah, okay. So usually when you buy the gas station, does the seller also own the real estate, or even that person is leasing?
Some of them do.
Okay.
We have bought properties along with the real estate. So business along with the real estate, but some of them we have we call him a jobber. So he's got 200 gas stations in this area.
Wow.
So we leased from him first. So
Okay.
if you own a gas station and you want to get out of the gas station business, you got tired, you sell that business to me, not the real estate. So
Got it.
I become a
Tenant, yes.
tenant of the same person.
Yeah, it's like triple net properties, right? Office buildings, kind of
Correct.
thing.
These gas stations are not triple net
Right.
because you sell gas for them and then you get a part of the share of the gas as well. So that's how I started. My first the answer to your question, straight answer is first my acquisition was just the operations,
Ah, I see. Okay.
not the real estate. But I
Got it.
have done this on most of my properties. I have bought the business first from somebody else, then I bought the property from the jobber.
Got it. And would you prefer to have both or just the lease?
Well, it depends. It
Okay.
depends. So if the rent is not too much, why would you buy?
Right, right.
So we have some gas stations that we have owned it for years. We don't want to buy the real estate because the rent is so good. Why do we
Okay.
need to take the liability of the property
Right.
if we can just pay the rent and we can just write down that rent and uh, make money, still make money. So why do we want to own the dirt?
Right. And
And
how
that,
long are those leases usually? 10 years, 20 years, 5 years?
well, ours are lifelong. We have
Okay.
like 5, 10, 15, but
Okay.
our jobber trusts us so much.
Right.
He just keeps renewing our
I
leases.
see. I see.
Yeah.
Interesting.
No, normally they are 15 years.
Okay. And then you keep renewing. Right.
Keep renewing, and he renews for everyone else as well. They're really nice guys, and they renew for everybody else too, unless you give problems to them.
Right, right. Which is similar to real estate, right?
Well,
If you give
sometimes
issues, you
they
got
tell
to
you to
get
either,
evicted.
yep, either get evicted, or they tell you, they first give you a chance to sell your business because it doesn't work out too good
I
between you
see.
and them.
I see. So, can you let's say, do you still look at gas stations? When you're are
No,
you no, not anymore.
no, I don't do day-to-day
Okay,
stuff at the gas stations, but I do a lot of from home,
got it. Okay,
kind
that
of
get
overlook my businesses,
got it.
deal with the accountant, deal with the attorneys, buying process and everything, and I maintain the entity things
Right.
myself.
Yeah, all the compliance work, right? Regulatory and
They
compliance.
do day-to-day work. I do most
Yes.
of the other work.
Got it. So can you go through the due diligence process you go through when you see a gas station deal or someone, talks about it with you? What do you usually look for? Like in real
You
estate, I know we look at, the migration pattern, their job growth, then the numbers, etc. But what do you look for in gas station?
it's funny. I look at the dumpsters. I look at the dumpsters. Whenever I go to the gas station to look as a potential acquisition, I look at their dumpster. From the dumpster, I can I can tell you in minutes what the gas station is worth.
Interesting. So what do you look for in dumpster? Is it full? Is it half empty?
Well, there are a lot of things that you can look from the dumpster.
Uh,
Uh, those things, cardboard boxes, for example. From
right.
there, you can get an idea
I see. I see. How many boxes are
what
there?
the sale, and you can also get the idea of the traffic to the gas station by looking at the trash and the
Ah,
trash can.
yes.
So unless it's been cleaned up today, I won't have any idea if it's cleaned
Right.
up today. And sometimes I do ask, what day is your trash day? I do ask that question too.
That's funny when you ask that.
Sometimes I ask the cashiers, what is your trash day? And they don't even know what I'm thinking.
All right. That's funny. So that's the major part of your due diligence process, it seems.
No, I'm just kidding. It's not just
No,
the
I'm
it's
just.
not just the trash. It's
There's a
the
lot more.
inside sales. I mean, that's the first thing.
Right, right.
That's the first thing I look at. And but no, there is a proper. I have got those gas stations are calculators are totally different than multifamily, but I can certainly look at the numbers and tell you what the income is going to be on this gas station.
Inter- and so when you look at the numbers, what are some of the things you highlight for you, right?
I divide the numbers into three portions: the inside sales,
Okay.
the lottery, inside sales excluding the lottery. So
Okay, right. Yeah, because usually, and I remember because I worked at a convenience store when I was a student, same as you mentioned, $4.50 an hour. So
yep,
we used to have a separate machine or a cash register only for lottery, right? So
correct.
that's how I remember that. Yeah,
So
lottery money goes into different
the
registers.
gas revenue, the lottery revenue, and the other rest of the inside sales revenue.
I see.
So I divide that into three portions. Then I know what's the margin on gas in that market, what's the margin on the lottery, and what's the margin inside.
Interesting. And do you buy all those gas stations with convenience stores?
Yes.
Okay. So,
There aren't any here in
oh,
without
okay.
the convenience stores.
Makes sense. Makes
So
sense. Yeah,
we don't have beer or liquor in our gas stations in Indiana.
got it.
So, but all the gas stations here are with convenience stores.
Okay, always convenience
Some
store.
of them are huge convenience stores. Like
Yeah, because I've seen some are huge and some
3,000.
are
Ours
just.
are almost 3,000 square feet.
That's huge. So that's itself is another business you got to manage when
Oh
it's
yeah,
that big.
definitely.
Yeah. So that's pretty interesting. And
There's not much margin on the gas, so you can't just survive with the gas.
oh yeah, that is true.
Yeah.
So, when you are buying real estate as well from the job, or do you try to negotiate, or how does it work, or
Oh
is it
yeah,
easier
oh
to get
yeah.
the real estate?
No, definitely renegotiate. I negotiate really hard on the pricing because they are not sold on cap rates.
Right,
They are not sold on cap rates.
makes sense. And then, are you able to get financing, or that's always the cash
Well, the good
real
thing
estate?
is our jobber always finances us.
Oh, seller financing. That's easy.
Yep, he has always financed us.
That's perfect.
We have never gone to a bank to get a loan, and unless the very first time. The very first time we got a loan from the bank, and never again.
Oh, wow.
Our
Okay.
jobber gives a better deal than the bank.
And you don't have to jump through hoops. You don't have to dance to their
Correct.
tunes.
That
Right?
we don't have to. We recently bought 2 gas station properties from our jobber. He gave us a better deal than the bank.
Wow. Oh, and yeah, and you know who he knows you. He can work with you directly. You are going to work with him directly. There is no one else involved,
Oh
right?
yeah, yeah.
So can you talk about your best deal in gas station so far?
Okay, I was looking at the numbers of a gas station today. A gas station that we bought for 50,000 plus inventory. They are bought like
Right.
the and that was just a business. And this was, I think, several years ago. Maybe we bought that in 2007.
Okay. So yeah,
So
13
13
years.
years ago, we bought that rundown gas station for just $50,000. Just the business,
You're
not the
right.
real
Not the
estate.
land. Yeah.
And I looked at the numbers today. We make 119,000 in 7 months.
Oh my God.
Yep,
Wow. Wow, that's
yep,
crazy. That's awesome.
yep, yep.
And do you own the real estate also now for that gas station or no?
Not on that one.
Because it's I think the when you bought it, the lease is so
We
cheap
have
that you
a
don't have.
really good deal on the lease, so why would we need to buy that property? And we have been offered the property,
Right.
but I don't want to buy that property.
Makes sense. Any other deals? No, or let me put it this way: any worse deal, or the deals where you think numbers did not work out the way you thought would have?
On the gas station,
Yes.
yes, we bought a gas station. It was a brand new gas station,
Ah,
brand new. We thought it will pick up. It was in the best area of Fort Wayne, and a brand new gas station. And we thought, oh, okay, we will do really good on this one. But it took us 5 year to bring it to where we wanted it to be.
wow. 5 years. So what did you learn from it, from that experience?
Maybe I don't believe in development anymore. I have a lot for the gas station in the corner just around my house, like less than a mile. And with the experience from that gas station, I'm just a little reluctant to build a gas station.
I see. Interesting. So last question, this question is interesting about gas station before we move on to the next portion. Because everyone keeps talking about electric car and I own Tesla. Where
Me
do you
too.
see, yeah, and where do you see gas stations going, right? Because people, of course, they are chatting that, oh yeah, this will disappear, that will happen.
Gas
So,
stations are not going anywhere
okay,
because gas stations, they're just called gas stations. They're not gas stations, much of the gas stations, because the inside sale is the convenience store is where you make money.
right, okay.
So gas stations are not going anywhere. As cars keep growing, instead of the gas pumps, we'll have electric pumps.
Yeah, exactly. You'll start replacing, and I'm seeing because I live in San Francisco Bay Area, where
Correct.
everyone owns the Tesla. So we are seeing a lot more electric charging station all over.
When I started in gas stations 20 years ago, there were a lot of gas stations with the service stations.
Right. Yes.
So at that time, there were service stations. And slowly, these franchises, service stations, they came. So people started going to those, like Napa or some others, whatever.
Yep, yep.
And people started going to get their cars repaired over there. So those workshops were converted into convenience stores. So now, if now people are used to come to our convenience stores, it's so convenient to go buy a pack of cigarettes or pack
Right,
chips or candy or whatever from a gas station than going to Kroger's and buying that
right.
same thing.
Yes, yes.
So gas stations are not going anywhere, and we are not making money on the gas anyways.
Yeah, that I didn't know that much.
Yeah.
That most of the time you are making money on the sales,
No,
not the gas.
you're just getting the customers in with the gas.
Right. That's the
It's
key.
very competitive business. Not even 1%, not even half percent,
Wow.
not even half percent.
Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah. A lot of times you end up even plus paying the credit card fee out of your pocket.
Oh,
So it's a very competitive business. I don't think anything is going to affect by people having electric cars. Still, they're going to come with the electric cars to buy gas, not the gas, but other
other
stuff
stuff. Yeah,
at the
makes
gas
sense.
at the
So
gas station.
that's interesting. So what's next for KK Singh? What are you up to nowadays?
We just raised capital for our project in Houston, Texas.
Interest.
150 unit property, a B class property in a neighborhood in the gallery area of Houston. And we were oversubscribed in less than 3 weeks on that deal. We still have people calling us, want to get on their deal. And but we are already oversubscribed, and we are closing that on September 16th. And I'm going
That's
to Houston on November
that
16th.
that's
September
awesome.
16th.
That's
Yeah.
awesome. Congrats on that and good luck on the closing. So let's
Thank
take
you.
a quick break, KK sir, and we'll be back after the break talking about some of the questions I ask every guest.
Okay. Okay. Sure.
Welcome back to Wealth Matters podcast. I'm chatting with KK Singh, and we discussed about gas station and his real estate portfolio as well. KK, are you ready for fire round?
Sure.
Okay, I'm gonna fire away now. Would you
Sure.
be changing
Shoot.
any business or investment strategy after coronavirus?
Well, you didn't mention we bought a event center in January of this year,
Whoa!
and we managed it for 2 months, and the third month it was closed down by governor's order because of the
Right.
coronavirus.
Wow.
So that's a tough one for us. So we opened back in June,
Okay.
and yeah, and it's the best event center here in Fort Wayne. We have inside, we have like 20,000 inside space, about 1,000 people, and then we
Nice.
have an outside garden for about 1,000 people too. So
That's huge. Yeah.
it's a huge, it's in 8 acres. And so what we did, we thought, okay, this is a good time to add some value to the property. It's a newer property. It's 2005 built, and it was built as a event center. So we added a lot of value to that property
Wow.
to bring it to, because it was never updated by the previous owners.
Right.
So we brought it up, and we are ready to shoot when a lot of our events were moved to, first they moved from March, April to September, October, and now they moved it to next year.
Right.
So that's a tough time, but we added value in the meantime to cash it on maybe next year.
Yeah, yeah, keeping fingers crossed. Yeah, and interesting. I was about to invest because I told you before the podcast, before we started, that I love working out. So I was about to participate in a gym. Actually, I wanted to be like an active owner because I always want, and I'm like, I backed out at last minute somehow. I don't know why. And right now, I would have been struggling because it was
Yeah.
same thing. It was like end of last year. We were planning to start everything. But yeah, I
Well, the
think.
good thing is we bought it for cash.
Oh, okay, okay. So you don't
So
have to worry.
we don't have to worry about the
Right,
payments, or we don't have to worry about the rent.
right.
So that's a plus point. But unfortunately, we had to fire some employees, lay off, not fired,
Yes,
lay off
yes.
some employees, and that's a sad part.
Yeah,
And but we are getting back. We are getting most of our business was business meetings,
right.
so we are getting back some of them, but
Okay.
not all of them. But I think that was a tough one, but we'll get through it.
Yeah, that's a tough one.
Yeah.
Favorite real estate or finance or any other related book?
Book.
Yes.
I like textbooks. Yeah.
Yeah, I love
Uh,
talking about tax-free
honestly,
wealth, right?
Tax-Free Wealth by
Tom Wheelwright. Yes,
Tom
yeah.
Wheelwright. Yeah, he gave us that book last week for free.
Yes, no, I love that book.
Yeah,
It's
he
amazing.
presented at our mastermind, Rod
Oh,
Priest
nice.
mastermind, and he mailed us those books for free. I haven't got a chance to read it, but I listen to
Oh,
his
you're going to
podcasts.
love
I
it.
follow him, and I have saved so much money by listening to him on Texas.
Yeah, so I bought his course on tax-free wealth about 3 years ago, and that changed my mind. That's when I decided, okay, I want to do this, a lot more than I was doing by buying 2, 3 properties a year. I said that's not gonna cut it. After reading his book, I was like, it makes sense because I want to keep most of what I make. I don't want to don it to government.
Correct. Yeah, you can donate it to other people.
Exactly. Yeah. Any tool or website you highly recommend or you cannot live without?
Uh, I am a Evernote consultant.
Oh,
So I've been using Evernote since 2000, I think 10.
wow. That's early because I
And
started using like 2015.
I use it heavily, heavily.
Yeah, it's a
I use
great
it
tool.
for everything. So
Yeah,
Evernote is one of my favorite app, but I am very high tech. I use a lot of other applications for my productivity, but Evernote is the best one I have
that's
so
awesome.
far. So that's why I did the certification first. Then they changed that certification into consultant. So I became an Evernote consultant.
That's great. Any advice for beginner investors?
Sure. I always say invest in yourself before you invest in any real estate at all.
Yes, that's the key. How do you give
Yep.
back?
We have a charity and we have a unique charity. I just talked about in my last podcast too. I'm glad you asked me that. So we have had a charity since 2009.
Hmm.
We started with adopting 10 kids in South India
Wow,
through organization here locally, worldwide. No, Forgotten Children Worldwide.
nice. I'm gonna
So
look it up.
yep, you can look it up, and you might see my picture on their website as well, because we are one of their sponsors, and now we have 15 kids.
That's great.
And our charity, why I said is unique. We don't accept any donations from anyone. Every carton of cigarette we sell at a gas station, we put 10 cents towards our charity.
Wow, that's
And
nice.
and then a percentage, small percentage of everything we buy. So that brings us to 25 to 30,000 a year. So uh, we are connected with 6 organizations all over the world. We pay them on regular basis, and there we are connected with the local rescue mission here as well. So some of them are local, some of them are worldwide.
Okay, okay, and that's awesome. Thank you for doing what you are doing. And actually, I will reach out to you after the podcast because I would love to know more about,
Sure.
the charity part.
And I did all that myself. I formed my charity myself. I got the 503c certification
Oh,
myself.
nice.
I didn't spend a penny, and I can help you to do everything yourself.
That would be awesome. because at some point we need to start giving back, right?
I
So
think
that's
this is the key.
yes.
If you give back, you get 10
Yeah,
times. You
I
get 10 times,
totally
and
agree.
I highly believe in this. And for this COVID, I have been coaching. I offered a coaching program to all our members, not all our members, the doctors and nurses who were on the front lines in the COVID. So I offered them a free coaching course for 6 months.
That is so nice of you. And my top three favorite books, one of them is The Go Giver by Bob Burg. And it's such an awesome book. And it exactly talks about what you said, that you do not worry about getting anything back, start giving, and you will get it 10 times, 20 times more.
I'm all about giving.
Yes,
I never tried to monetize anything. I'm all about giving, and it comes back many 4 times.
that's awesome. How can my listeners reach out to you?
They can reach out to me on our Facebook group. That's where I'm most of the time, 10x Multifamily Investment Group, or
Yes.
LinkedIn. I'm on LinkedIn, or they can go to our website, growrichcapital.com, and fill up the form, and or even schedule a call with me.
Sure. Awesome. And I'll put that in the show notes. Thank you so much,
Yeah.
KK. It
Thank
was
you very
nice chatting
much,
with you.
Ablesh.
Take care.
Thank you for having me. It's my pleasure.
Absolutely.